Productive Pastor 81, how to get out of a funk. What's going on, friends? Welcome back, Productive Pastor, episode 81. It's holiday week. I think I even said in the last episode I wasn't going to do an episode this week, but I decided to come on in, hang out, do this, because I didn't want to leave you hanging, because y'all are my friends. Like, the Productive Pastor, it's a crew. If it was a child, it's been going on long enough to be in the 3rd or 4th grade. And so I'm not going to leave you hanging. We're going to do some stuff. It's going to be a little bit chiller, a little bit off the cuff episode. Not going to have a lot of crazy show notes, but what I want to talk about is, one of my favorite things. I feel like I've done episodes on this before, maybe back in the previous iteration of Productive Pastor. I know I've created content around it before, and it's about how to get out of funks, because, we all get into funks, and everybody's funk is different. Like, you get to have your funk, whatever that looks like. But I'm going to talk about it in kind of a specific way this episode, and kind of in a specific idea and time and all that, because, there's multiple kinds of funks, and I think for every kind of funk you get in, there's probably going to be a specific way that you can get out of said funk. So that's where we're going to kind of go into this idea today, how to get out of a funk. Before we jump into this, just want to throw one thing at you, and that's the Productive Pastor email list. Every month I drill in on one focus to kind of pull apart across the entire month. I try to make those as action, just focused as possible to get you free, so you can get some incredible and great value out of that. You can sign up for the Productive Pastor email list at the show notes, revchadbrooks.com/PPP/081. So let's get into the idea of the funkiness here. Can you tell I'm having a lot of fun saying funk? I've realized that funk music is some of my favorite music to listen to. It's kind of the theme music for the podcast of all the different versions it's been. But anyway, let's kind of get into this. So let's talk about the specific funk that you might be in, and what are the ways that you can specifically get out of it. And this is the funk I want to think about today. I want to think about a work funk. I want to think about a task funk. I want to think about the idea of what happens when you have to get some stuff done and you're not able to do it, and you're in a situation where it might be frustrating or whatever like that. So we're going to talk about a work funk today, how to get out of a work funk. And what I'm thinking about specifically is, the days where things just seem to be a little bit too much, or perhaps even the weeks or the months of that, how to get out of that funk. And so, 4 ways that you're going to do it. Number 1, you need to know your tasks. You need to know what all the things that you have to do are, and you need to know what your relationship to those things are. Back in season 1 of Productive Pastor, I talked about the idea of draining, dealing, and developing tasks a lot. I've got a blog post. I'm going to put the links in the show notes to 6 questions to better understand awareness and ability. Kind of part of that idea of being personally aware from season 1 of the podcast. And in it, I talk about 3 tasks, and we go into these a bunch in the Becoming Productive course as well. But you have draining tasks, you have dealing tasks, and you have developing tasks. Now, let's start at the top, the fun stuff. A developing task is not just something you're good at or that you enjoy doing, but a developing task is the kind of thing that when you are working on it, you actually increase in your competency. Like, you get better. You become a better version of yourself. You are honing in on skills in a positive forward motion way. Those are developing tasks. And everybody's going to have different ones. There's dealing tasks. This thing, I can take care of this. Like, I can do this. It might not be fun, but it's totally cool. I can take care of it. At this point, you're in a neutral territory. You're not gaining anything. You're not losing anything here, but it's like, I can get this done. This is also where we kind of talk into energy management, that you need to be like at your mentally best and developing zone, and that you can kind of be so-so. I'm really good at being so-so from like 11 o'clock to 1:30. When you're in dealing mode, like, yeah, I can do that. No big deal at all. Or there's what I call draining tasks. Now, these are tasks that you don't like doing, and if you have to do a bunch of them, or you have to do even a couple of them at the wrong time, you're losing yourself here. Like, you're losing ability and that sort of thing. And so note the tasks that you have at hand. And this is kind of a quick hack. Back in the day, Productive Pastor used to be a lot more hacky. And I've had some longtime listeners that have stuck around for almost a decade now that say every now and then, Chad, we kind of miss the hack episode. And so this whole episode's a little hacky. That kind of the thing there. But like one of the stuff that I will do is, I'll just have an awareness of what my tasks are. And sometimes if I really need to get up energy or just get motion, or something has to change, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in a quick, developing task. Funny enough, Productive Pastor Podcast started out as a developing hack back when I was associate pastor at a mid-sized church, and I was just getting a little bored. I needed to find something to do to really throw myself into in order to just become excited about a lot of things. So I decided to start a podcast, and look, here we are, 10, 11 years later. So this is what happens sometimes when you chase those developing tasks. But a lot of times, if you just know where your tasks are and you're in a funk, you might just be, hey, you know what, let me give myself permission to not do any absolutely non-essential draining tasks for 2 days. If they come across me and I have any way to just say, I'm gonna push that off, just do it. Or it might just be saying, I'm going to just add in a quick thing real quick for the next 15, 20 minutes because I know it's going to pop my energy levels up and I'm going to be able to be a better version of myself the rest of the day. I've done that before too. Making things always does that for me. And so I have to watch it because I enjoy it so much. If it's like 1:30 in the afternoon and I know I've got some important stuff at like 4 and 5 or 3 or whatever, and I'm just really not there, I'll say, Chad, let's go make something real quick. Let's create something. Let's do a little bit of writing. Let's do a little bit of thinking, that sort of a piece. And it's just going to kind of hack your way there. So number one, know your tasks and be aware of the energy levels and where they place you. Think about that draining, dealing, and developing. Go hit up that blog post in the show notes. Make sure you read that. The second thing is understand this. Are you a starter or a finisher? Now, I like the language of Clifton Strengths for this sort of thing, but I'm activator. My number 2 strength is activator. I love to start things. I absolutely love to start things. And sometimes when I'm in funk, it goes back to that permission saying, hey, Chad, you know what? Let's just go pursue this thing. Let's go see what this looks like. Let's go see how this might work. And if the time's appropriate, I go do it. Or also, you might be a finisher. It might be you saying, I'm kind of in a funk because I've been doing a bunch of stuff and it's just trudging along. So I'm going to divert myself. My wife's a finisher. She loves this kind of stuff. One of her top strengths is discipline. Discipline and a ranger, like those sorts of strengths. Then again, going back to Clifton Strengths language. In those scenarios, you say, this thing is not going to get finished today, and I really need to finish a handful of things. And so I'm going to move some time around, and let me just close some doors. And some of that might just be one item things on your checklist. But no, are you a starter or are you a finisher? And sometimes, hacking your energy levels to get out of that funk just means moving some tasks around to have some tasks that are fun, that are developing, all that sort of stuff that lets you just scratch some of that native itch. So are you a starter or a finisher? The third thing, and this is what I love to do, activate your morning. When you think of doing a morning routine, had an episode a few episodes back on, creating an activated morning routine. I think that was literally the title of it. Activate your morning. It's just game changing. And, you might be able to do that really, really well. Or you might have a pack of kids at the house and the morning is just like all hands on deck and we barely can get anything done. Think about your context. Think about where you are in the moment. Give yourself permission. But this is what I would say, activate your morning. It's going to be really, 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 really simple. And in episode 7, that's what it was. Episode 7 of the podcast. I brought up 3 things to activate. Activate your mind, activate your soul, and activate your body. That's it. Give your mind a way to get working and be excited. Give away for your soul. Whenever I'm in a funk, I also always look at my devotional life. Like, where has that been right there? So activate your soul, then activate your body. I'm kind of thinking about doing one of those kettlebell challenges for the last 40 days of the year where you do 100 kettlebell swings every day. That means going outside and cranking out 20 or 25 of those, like right when I get up in the morning. That will, if you've never swung a kettlebell before, that'll activate your body for certain. But then there's also something else. Give yourself a favorite task every morning. If there's something you really love to do, give yourself permission to do it on purpose, especially in these moments where you're in a funk, because it's going to help you get out of that funk, to just have an enjoyable thing to look forward to every morning. Or it might just be, say it, for the next few mornings, I'm going to splurge a little bit and I'm going to go get that breakfast sandwich because it's just going to help me get things started back a better day. Or maybe it's like a generative task. Maybe it's the sort of thing that, if you have some ability to focus on this thing in the morning, it just kind of gets your juices going no matter what. That's one of the reasons I do sermon preparation every morning is, an hour or two of deep work, of thought, of creation, all the hot button words that I love to think about. That gets my day going really, really well. So think about how you can activate your morning. And the last one is this, number 4, task hack. Reevaluate your day and just do activating tasks. I thought about this earlier today. I was getting a car wash, and this was an idea for a tweet that I had, but it's this, I don't think it's necessary in ministry to optimize every single thing you do. And it's kind of funny because it seems like all I want to do is talk about optimization. And I just don't think that that's necessary in ministry. I mean, there's the optimized bros and sisters. Everybody kind of loves to talk about optimization now on the internet. I don't think that's necessary. I really don't think it's necessary. What I do think is necessary is for people to learn optimization strategies and tactics for when you need to optimize something. You can do it. When you need to hack something, you know how to do it. It doesn't mean you do these things 24/7 for the rest of your life, but it might mean always be experimenting on some one weird ancillary thing that doesn't matter that much, just to develop the skill, because something might happen down the road where you realize, I'd actually need to learn how to hack this a little bit. And the best time to learn to hack something is when you don't need it. And the worst time to learn to hack something is when you absolutely do need it. But just think about that, to task hack a little bit. So shorter episode, 12 minutes in. This is a short one. But, how to get out of a funk, how to get out of a productivity and work funk. 4 things, know your tasks. 2, are you a starter or a finisher? 3, activate your morning. And number 4, just task hack. So tell me what you thought about it. Hit me up on socials. I'm at Rev Chad Brooks on everything. We'd love to hang out with you there. We'd love to hang out with you in the Productive Pastor community on Facebook. I call it the Productivity Party. It's over 1,000 ministry leaders that get together. They talk about time management and how to live the call to life. We have a lot of fun over there. We'd love to see you in that. You can find the link to that in the show notes. But I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Are you a turkey or a ham person? I'm a neither person. I'm a brisket person. But I know that a lot of folks really enjoy their turkey and ham on Thanksgiving. So I hope you have a good one, and I'll be back in the next episode.